everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
Jerry, it's time to talk week 4.
Oh, I know.
Panthers at Cowboys. The biggest game of the year so far for the Panthers by far.
By far.
The most talented team, top to bottom, that the Panthers have faced by far.
Yeah. A mobile quarterback is something that the Panthers have not faced.
Yeah. Our preseason love affair, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
So let's talk injuries real quick. We always start off with the injury reports for the game, and this is as of Thursday. We'll start with the Panthers. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey not going to play, hasn't practiced all week. Probably a little bit of news about him. He was not placed on the injured reserve. They specifically said they were not going to put him on IR, although it seems like he still could miss 3 weeks. I guess there's an off chance he could come back before that, so they just want to keep him around just in case, which is fine. Gross Matos, limited practice. Does seem to be some question about whether he's going to play. John Miller, limited practice as well. Imagine he will play. Terrace Marshall and CJ Henderson, both on the report, both full practice. Phil Hoskins did not practice. Cam Irving, Shaq Thompson, both on the report, both full practice. So outside of McCaffrey and Horn, really, I think we're going to be pretty full strength.
And you forgot to mention Justin Burris is also placed on IR.
Justin Burris on IR. Yep. Justin Burris on IR. I wish they would put those on the injury reports because I always forget them. And like COVID guys, suspended guys, and injured reserve guys, they should just be on the report.
Yeah, well.
Or it should be like, they don't call it an injury report. Call it like a in danger of not playing report or something. I don't know. Something. Anyway, looking at the Cowboys, also not on the report, but La'el Collins is suspended again for this game. I think he's suspended for a few games, so he will not play. Dorrance Armstrong, defensive end, did not practice. All these guys did not practice Thursday. Everybody I'm listing here. Ty Niski, Carlos Watkins. Sorry, had a pop-up. Donovan Wilson, Randy Gregory, and Tony Pollard, not injury related, did not practice. So
I'm assuming Pollard's going to play, just not injury related.
He'll
He's
play.
just
He'll play. Gonna assume that's like a personal day or something.
Yeah.
And then starting middle linebacker Keanu Neal tested positive for COVID. Most likely will be out for the game. I don't think we know that for sure yet, but this late in the week.
Yeah, because I believe it was reported on September 25th, and since he's officially been tested positive, it's a 10-day. Even though he's vaccinated, he has to wait 10 days. So I think it's guaranteed he's going to miss it, but the last thing I saw is most likely going to miss. So I didn't want to say he is out.
Yeah, the 25th, that would put like the 4th or 5th, I guess. Probably the 5th, Tuesday. So he should miss if that is when he tested positive. So, but injuries, Jerry.
Yeah,
always a bummer. Always a bummer. And not just for professional athletes, but for people like you and me. Sometimes we get injured during this podcast. We get so excited, fist bumping or air high fiving that we tweak a muscle. Yeah, we're getting old.
Yeah, I really am.
But you're never too old to enjoy yourself, Jerry.
Nope.
If you want to recover and you want to enjoy yourself, check out CBDX.com. Not your average CBD company. We've all tried CBD, right? And some of it works, some of it doesn't. But none of it's like the real deal. CBDX is the real deal. And it ships right to your front door. Right now, all of you guys listening can get 20% off your orders at CBDX.com with promo code MEOW. They make delicious gummies, amazing flour, tremendous cartridges. I think it is flour, actually. Amazing flour. All of the products look, smell, taste, and feel the same, and they actually work. CBDX.com is the future. Go to CBDX.com, enter promo code MEOW for 20% off all orders and you're going to get a free gift from the team at CBDX. Don't use CBDX before driving, operating heavy machinery, or getting tested. There is THC in this, guys, so it's a small amount, but you could test positive. So 20% off and a free gift when our listeners use promo code MEOW at cbdx.com. All right, Jerry.
Let's
the
take
game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to take a break?
No, let's take a look at those matchups. That's what I was getting forward to.
Well, I was going to say, Jerry, that before we get to the matchups, the Cowboys on mybookie.ag are favored against the 3-0 Panthers by 4 points.
It's that 3-point home advantage. They're only favored by 1 if they're on neutral site. Let's just call it like that.
Yeah, I've seen 4.5 a lot of places. 4.5 seems to be the normal. The over-under is at 51.5, which seems really high.
Yeah, I actually took the under already.
Okay, good job.
All right, the key matchup I have is Panthers O-line versus Cowboys pass rush. Cowboys are only averaging 1.3 sacks per game. I know it's only been 3 games. So they haven't been lighting up the sack column, but they are getting there, and they're causing some errant passes that, Trayvon Diggs is picking off. So, the O-line here has struggled all 3 games. It's the weak spot of this team, and it needs to shore up and give Sam Darnold time. Sam Darnold needs time back there. Otherwise, this is going to be a very dangerous, defense he goes against.
Yeah, I would say overall, the Cowboys' defensive line is probably one of the weaker spots on their team.
Yeah.
Now, they have moved Micah Parsons to an edge rusher. Like he's a linebacker coming out and started the season there, but due to injuries and everything, they moved him down. And he has been great as a pass rusher.
Micah Parsons is just going to be great, period.
Yeah, he's a really good player. Kind of reminds me of like Brian Burns in terms of his skills at that position, right? And then his versatility as well. But outside of him, nobody scares me on that defensive line, really.
Not really.
So I think, the O-line is going to face, going down the season here, they're going to face some pretty stout D-lines. I don't think this is one of them. I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about this. I say, in terms of matchups, this is at least even, if not the Panthers a little.
Well, I wouldn't say that. The Panthers' offensive line has been ranking in the dead last of all the measurables about, pass blocking win percentage. They're losing a lot. That's why I have it up top.
But it's not having a big effect.
It's not having a big effect yet because they haven't really played that many. Like, I'm afraid Parsons going to wreck Sam Darnold, and that's what's going to happen. This O-line has struggled.
It's quite possible. Yeah,
quite
possible. I just don't think this isn't the most fearsome defensive line they're going to play all season. I guess that's what I'm saying.
No, you're right.
In terms of, is this the reason we're going to lose this game? I don't think so. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, it is a big deal because obviously if the offensive line fails, then that's it. Like, game over probably.
Yeah.
If you're letting Parsons and
Randy Gregory, if he plays.
Yeah. All these guys, get to Darnold, then there's not going to be much to talk about, unfortunately. Positive on Sunday, but I think that the offensive line is going to hold up pretty well. On the other side, Panthers pass rush has been amazing this year, leading the league in sacks, pressures, all that stuff. Going up against easily the best offensive line that they've played so far in the Cowboys offensive line.
Now, the Saints have a really good offensive line, I think, but I will say Cowboys have an excellent offensive line, and they have been playing really well this season. So it'll be very interesting if they can get to Dak Prescott, and if Dak Prescott, he's a very mobile quarterback. He's not a running quarterback, but some of our pass rush sometimes whiff on a guy and has given up some yardage to the quarterbacks. I'm kind of worried that might happen here with Dak Prescott being more mobile than Zach Wilson and Jameis Winston.
Just a little, yeah.
I mean,
like you said, he's not really a running quarterback, and then even, he had that bad injury last year. He's running even a little less than he was before. But I don't know, man. This offensive line, I think, is better than the Saints by a decent margin. Like they got studs all over the line. Just looking at the PFF rankings real quick, which I know isn't the end all be all, but Tyron Smith, second. Terrence Steele, the guy that's filling in for La'el Collins, 11th. Zach Martin, second. Connor Williams, ninth. Connor McGovern, who is one of their backups, 7th. And then their center is 27th. So maybe that middle of the line is maybe where you can get some penetration. But
they gave up 4 sacks last week. Good. They gave up 4 sacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
against an Eagles team that's got a pretty good defense. Even though they gave up 41 points. Although some of that was defensive, but yeah.
I agree, but I think they're vulnerable, and I think that this defensive line in this pass rush can get there. So
I do too. I think this is going to be I don't think it's going out on a limb to say this is the best pass rush that they've faced so far this season.
Definitely.
Yeah. Even though the Eagles have a decent pass rush.
Well, they faced the Bucs
they're
too.
Not they faced the Bucs in week 1, right? And they almost won that game, by the way. The Cowboys have been pretty frisky. I mean, they're 2-1 and they almost beat the Super Bowl champs. So, all right. What do you feel that's a Panthers? I mean, that's a Panthers advantage, right? The D line versus Cowboys O line, or is it?
I think it's really close. I would give us the slight edge, but that's close.
Yeah, I feel similarly on the other side as well. I think the Panthers slight edge, or maybe Cowboys slight edge, but it's close.
Yeah, and Brian Burns said he loves the playbook that they have to get to Dak Prescott. He said that in a presser earlier today. So I'm very interested to see if they throw some wrinkles in at him.
Yeah. Next one.
The Panthers secondary versus the Cowboys receivers. I mean, look, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Wow. I mean, they're a top tandem there. And our secondary is injured now with J.C. Horn out. And we'll probably start A.J. Boye and Dante Jackson. And then we'll have, that slot with Cornelder and everybody. But that's going to be a tough task for Dante and A.J. or C.J. Henderson, whoever plays out there.
Yeah. And, I mean, you've got Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin at tight end, who both are really good pass-catching tight ends. Now, we do have the linebackers to match up with those tight ends, so I'm not too worried about that. But, yeah, I mean, A.J. Boye is going to have to really step up and play, at least 80% of what J.C. Horn was giving us, if not more. And then the pass rush is going to have to get to the quarterback. Yeah. I think that's going to be the key.
That you're absolutely right. That he's going to have to. I think what you do is you put Dante Jackson on CeeDee Lamb, because I don't think A.J. Boye can keep up with CeeDee Lamb, just in general. And Dante Jackson is probably one of the fastest corners in the league, so he should be able to at least somewhat hang. But you're absolutely right. You have to get in Dak Prescott's face all the time and in a hurry to not let these receivers get open and get down the field.
Yeah, and each of these receivers is capable of putting up incredible numbers and really taking over a game. I mean, Amari Cooper, we've seen in the past, he can either be extremely quiet, 2 catches, or he can go for 10 plus catches, 200 yards. I mean, he's that kind of receiver. He's got all the physical tools. It's usually just, is he on that game or not?
I think Dallas did a really great job by getting him CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup there, because on those quiet days, they could focus in on somebody else. But then they could go back to him and he can have a 200-yard game. So
and
that
Gallup's
way,
out, right?
Yeah, Gallup's out.
On IR, so at least we don't have to worry about him, because he is another one that's really good. But then you also, I mean, we're going to talk about the running game here in a minute, but you've got Pollard and Zeke, both good receiving backs out of the backfield, both with, 8 or 9 catches so far this year. So that's also something that the Panthers pass defense is going to have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and Tony Pollard's been looking a lot better than Ezekiel Elliott.
The numbers are similar, but Pollard seems to be the big threat, right? He's the guy that's going to break away and make the big plays.
He's a little speedier, a little more jukey. I mean, they've had 44 carries to 27, but Tony Pollard's averaging 6.8 yards per carry, while Ezekiel Elliott's 4.5, which is good, but it does seem like Tony Pollard's getting the bigger plays more often. So
yeah. And that takes us right into our last matchup here, is the Panthers run defense versus those two backs. That truly is, it's not like Zeke 80% of the time, then Pollard comes in every once in a while. Like this is a real timeshare. These guys, it's like 60-40. I mean, Pollard is playing a lot.
And he's making
playing really well.
Yeah, he absolutely is. That being said, the Panthers have the number one run defense in the league. They held Alvin Kamara to 4 yards,
five yards on 8 carries, I think.
So they're giving up, I think it's 2.6 yards per rush. I think that
45 yards a game.
So this Panthers run defense is for real. Some Cowboys fan or person said that he thinks that both Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott will have over 100 yards. I was like, have you not been paying attention at all? Now, that being said, I do think that they'll get some yardage, but I don't think it'll be a lot. I think this run defense will be able to keep them in check.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep them to 45 yards. It really is just going to depend on how the game goes. I mean, if I don't see the Cowboys getting out to a big lead where they're going to be able to just pound the ball in the second half. I don't see that happening. The Panthers defense is too good for that. So yeah, I don't think there's any way that both Zeke and Pollard get over 100 yards. I think that's foolish to even suggest that.
Yeah.
It's extremely disrespectful to the Panthers, number one, but it's also, tell me you've never seen a Panthers game without telling me you've never seen a Panthers game, honestly. I mean, like, it makes no sense. But this is the best tandem of running backs the Panthers have faced so far, and it's not close. This is probably the best receiving core not even probably. This is the best receiving core the Panthers have faced so far.
Yep.
Best quarterback the Panthers have faced so far.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is I think Alvin Kamara is the best running back they saw.
Single run, yeah. I think Alvin Kamara is probably the best single player the Panthers have faced so far. But Zeke is not far behind, and Pollard is playing extremely well so far. Yeah. And this is this going to be a test, a real test. And like we said kind of at the beginning of the podcast, not only is this a good measuring stick, like nationally for the Panthers, but I think even for us, even for Panthers fans, we haven't seen the Panthers go up against a team like this yet. And it's going to be good to see how they respond. Yeah,
I agree. There is one thing I didn't put up. Their pass defense, they're giving up 400 yards a game. I know a lot of that's because that other teams are following. Yes, they lead the league in interceptions, but they're giving up a lot of yards. So if they can hold down the turnovers, I think DJ, Robbie, and Terrace Marshall can eat. Or who knows, Brandon Zylstra may pop up again randomly and have 5 catch-ups.
Yeah, I mean, they've gone against Brady, Justin Herbert in the first 2 weeks. Two, are probably definitely top 10 quarterbacks. And then Jalen Hurts got some garbage time yardage in week 3. Did you watch that Monday night game?
No, I didn't.
Were you able to watch any of it? So yeah, that our next 2 opponents made me feel a lot better about facing Philadelphia next week. But definitely put a little fear in my heart to play the Cowboys this week. They are a really solid team. Yeah. And I hate to say it because I don't like the Cowboys.
No,
I've never liked the Cowboys. I know.
Nobody likes the Cowboys except for Cowboys fans. And then if they're a Cowboys fan, you'll know it because they talk about it nonstop. So
yeah, I mean, they, most of them Yeah, we don't need to get into it, but yeah, you're right. All right. Any other matchups that you're interested in seeing? I mean, we obviously always think that the Panthers. Let's talk real quick about this. Obviously, CMC's out, so we got Chuba who's going to play. He's going to start. Royce Freeman's going to play some. How do you think the Panthers' run game is going to do?
Oh, man,
I think that's another one of the big keys is establishing a run game.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still up in the air. They have a solid run defense. They're only giving up like 70 yards per game.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest, I think they're going to be a little bit better than that. I hope. I think Chuba Hubbard has really struggled in spot duty, but once he came in there against Houston and got more touches, he kind of got more of a feel. I'm hoping that he is more of a guy who needs the repetition to get going.
Rhythm guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm hoping
and Matt
he
Rule's
could get.
Sort of. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm hoping that they could get 80 to 100 yards on the ground. So
I think
at least
I think that would be great if they could do that. That's more than what CMC's been averaging. Matt Rule sort of echoed what you were saying, is that it seems like when Chuba is kind of in and out of the game, he's just not able to establish his footing really. He's just not very effective. But in that second half last week, when he did play a lot more, got 11 carries, that you could see as he got more comfortable, the big plays started coming, right? Mm-hmm. We're also going to see more of Tommy Tremble. I think we could see 2 or 3 carries from Tommy Tremble in this game. Robbie Anderson. Last thing I want to talk about in terms of matchups. Robbie Anderson, Matt Rules asked about Robbie Anderson, about getting him involved more in the game. And they said they have to. They have to get him more involved. Yeah. He's too good of a player not to be involved. Seems like Darnold is just not looking his way a lot, and that's something they're going to have to address. But with CMC out, that's going to open up the door for some more players to step up, and I think Robbie's going to be a beneficiary.
I hope so. I think that is a very good possibility. Chuba does not have the best hands, it seems like. I've seen him drop a couple passes. So let's hope he kind of chews up those yards underneath that he was doing last year for us so well.
I hope so. I wouldn't mind seeing Robbie, be put in the slot. Have Terrace Marshall and DJ on the outsides.
I don't know. I think DJ's more of a mismatch underneath in the slot than Robbie.
I just want to get Robbie going. Like I get
that.
DJ has been killing it on the outside all season long. Like, that's where he's great, and he needs to occupy one of those corners.
Yeah.
Diggs, obviously. You think DJ is going to have a big game here?
I think he'll have a decent game.
Does DJ have to have a big game in order for the Panthers to win?
No, I don't think so. I think Darnold's been very good about spreading the ball around, and I think that will continue. Even with CMC's gone. Yes, DJ gets about 8-9 targets, but he's the number 1 receiver. That's typically how it goes. But if you look the rest, usually it's about 6 or 7 other guys get 2 catches or 3 catches. I mean, it's spread out pretty well. I do agree with you, though. I think that Robbie Anderson will be more of a focal point this week with CMC out and kind of more of a game plan with him out. So
I hope so. I mean, he was great last year, and I think we need to get him more involved. All right. Beer bet of the week, Jerry.
Beer bet of the week.
Brought to you by mybookie.ag.
I would only recommend service to my listeners that's been good to me. That's why MyBookie is always the right play. You bet, you win, they pay. MyBookie has live in-game betting on every NFL game. They've got the most rewarding player perks in the business. And for you fantasy guys out there, you can even bet the over-under on many fantasy points a player will score each game. Call to action, up to $1,000 first dollar deposit bonus. Double your first deposit. Use promo code MEOW to activate the offer. Meow. Meow. Visit MyBookie online today. That's MyBookie, MeywMyBookie. And don't forget to use promo code MEOW when creating your account. Claim the bonus. Bet, win, get paid.
All right. Who will have less? Are we saying rushing yards or overall yards?
Rushing yards.
Okay. Who will have less rushing yards in this game for the Cowboys? Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. You're taking Ezekiel Elliott.
I'm taking Ezekiel Elliott. He seems to like to go up the middle, and that's kind of when I've seen them play, that's typically where they're putting him. And I think Derek Brown and Daquan Jones will kind of stuff that middle like they've been doing all season. And I think, yeah.
Okay. That's a good choice. I'm going to go with Pollard, obviously, because he's the only other option here.
Yeah.
He, I think, has a more similar skill set to an Alvin Kamara, which we saw the Panthers completely shut down. We know we have the players to do that. I don't think we've faced a guy like Zeke yet this year who's just that powerful. I don't think Zeke is going to like run all over us or anything, but I think they're going to shut down one of the guys, and I'm going to choose Pollard.
Okay.
I also have to start Zeke in my fantasy league, so hoping for like a garbage time touchdown or something. Although if he gets 0 points and the Panthers win, I'm perfectly happy with that outcome. So this is I have a lot of Cowboys on my team, unfortunately. That's just the way the draft fell. So I'll be rooting for the Panthers number one. All right, predictions in this game, Jerry. Bold predictions first.
I'll let you go first because I've been toying around in my head a few of them. So
okay. Well, we sort of mentioned him earlier, Robbie Anderson. I think he gets going in this game. I think he gets going in a big way this game. I'm seeing 120 receiving yards and a touchdown for him in this game, which compared to the, 80-something yards that he has so far would be a pretty big jump. So that's going to be my bold prediction for this game. He breaks out in a big way, and he's a big reason for why the Panthers might win this game.
Yeah. I am going to go something similar. Not really. I'm actually going defense. The Panthers
not similar at all.
The Panthers hold both running backs below 40 total yards rushing the ball.
Wow.
Now, as a team, I have a feeling that they will get more than 50, 60. I think Dak Prescott's going to probably get the most rushing yards this week against the Panthers.
So is that your bold prediction? Is it that Dak Prescott leads them in rushing?
Yeah, let's go with that.
That's bold. I like that. Okay, we'll mark that down. All right, finally, let's go game predictions, final score predictions. I'm going to make you go first this time.
I've been going this way. I initially picked Cowboys during our preseason game prediction, but after seeing this defense, it's got to change. Panthers win 24-21. Close one.
Nice. I like it. It's a close one. Yeah, we both picked the Cowboys in our preseason predictions. And you know what? We both picked the Panthers all season long so far. They're 3-0. I'm not going to be the one to buck that trend. Absolutely not. I'm picking the Panthers to win as well. I also think it's going to be a fairly low-scoring game. I'm going to go 2017 Panthers.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be close, I think. I saw one prediction was like 38-18 or something Cowboys. I think that's insane.
Yeah, they haven't been paying attention to this defense.
Yeah, I don't see this being more than a touchdown either way. I mean, Vegas has it at 4, which is, right in that zone where Vegas is like, could go either way,
Yeah.
So I just don't see this being a blowout on either side. And the Panthers have been, they've been winning handily this year.
Yeah. They haven't been
close that first game against the Jets, but since then they've won by a couple of touchdowns each game, at least.
Yeah, so I agree. I don't know how people are. I know in the YouTube comments we're gonna have a bunch of Cowboys fans saying that you guys are delusional. Yeah, just like the Saints fan. You guys are delusional picking the Panthers. Yeah. Look how that turned out.
How'd that end up? Yeah.
But I do think it's going to be a close game. It'll be a good test for the Panthers.
Agreed. And again, if the Panthers happen to lose this game, it doesn't really change too much about how I feel about the team. If they win this game, it changes a little bit how I feel about the team.
Yeah,
It makes me feel a lot stronger.
I do too, because the Dallas has hung with everybody. The Bucks, even though if the Bucks would have lost that game, they would have been 1-2. Just think about that.
All right, that's gonna do it.
All right, we want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we'll read your comment on the show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube.
We'll be back on Sunday afternoon to talk Panthers Cowboys recap. Until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.